So again, my name's Dylan Hume. I'm the senior channel manager here at Quadient that manages our accounts payable practice and actually our Sage relationship as well, for those that know us as Sage AP Automation. And I'll get right into the agenda now at this point, because today we're going to keep it fairly brief on the front end, just with a little discussion around the Quadient partnership that we have with DSD. And then we're going to dive into just more about Quadient and our solution, Sage AP Automation, as well as Quadient AP that we go by in the Intact and other markets. And that's it. We're going to dive into the customer story after that. And I'm going to try to leave some time for like a quick overview demonstration, but I'll keep an eye on the clock. And if we have time for that, we'll go for it before some questions at the end. So yeah, let's dive into it. Like I said, before diving into more around AP automation, I want to take a moment and talk briefly about the partnership we built between Quadient and DSD. So first off, it is important to highlight that we generally enjoy working together and have developed a strong level of trust over the years. At Quadient, we rely on DSD and their team to really just handle the ERP specific needs for their customers, and we trust them to also guide the customers through their broader technology journeys that they're going through, especially in the landscape of full of all the different third-party solutions that are available today in like the Sage and other markets. And on the marketplace, we here at Quadient AP, we're actually white labeled as Sage AP Automation. And then when opportunities come up for accounts payable and accounts receivable automation, which is the other solution we have here for anyone who's interested in learning more, DSD relies on Quadient and our solution experts to lead those conversations. So this partnership works because we do maintain an open level of communication throughout the sales and solution life cycles. And this really allows you as the customer to end up finding the right solution for your business. It also means that when future upgrades come up on the Sage side, and particularly those that relate to your unique Sage setup, these are all handled smoothly and in a timely manner, and we can just update our sync tool to accommodate as well. So the main point really to take away from this is that when you're ready to explore AP and AR automation here with Quadient, you're not doing it alone. DSD is going to be right there with you, supporting and advising along the way to determine the right path forward. With that, let's dive into the presentation. So with all of the different solutions in the market today, it's often difficult to sift through all of the different noise that you're going to come across, especially in the AP automation space. So in addition to asking your partner DSD for advice, you can also look to industry analyst reports, where Quadient continuously shows up as the industry leaders. I'm not going to go into too much more depth, but you can gain access to this through DSD or us directly if you're in conversations. And now just coming back to that Sage relationship, I know a lot of people in attendance today are on Sage 100. So I wanted to just point out that Sage AP Automation, we are that white labeled product for Sage. We go by Quadient AP in the other ERP markets for like Sage Intact and Acumatica. But the solution interface is going to look the same for you. And the fun thing really to note on that topic is that with AP automation, say you move forward with Sage 100 and our solution, and decide to move to something like Sage Intact down the road in the future, our AP automation solution can actually move with you, so that all your historical data, the invoices, the audit trails that you build out within our solution remain intact. And it's just a matter of switching over the connector that you're using to connect to your ERP, and then the data for the new accounts payables process will flow that way. Okay, let's dive into some of the features now and continue to think about questions along the way. We have time at the end to answer those, but just put those right in the QA box like Tamara mentioned earlier. What you're looking at here is the 4 key processes in the accounts payable workflow, just generally. So you've got your invoice management, which all companies really have some of, and then you got purchase orders, which is more of an optional thing for better management of your outbound payments and just creating a little bit more control around it. And then we've got expense management, and then the vendor and employee payments that sometimes you're paying employees through AP versus payroll, and we have that ability for you. So what I wanted to point out here is that we have modules across each of these workflows. So we're like a one-stop shop for your accounts payable workflow. And so we've designed our solution to provide that complete coverage in order to give you, first of all, one spot to go, but also we've configured it in a very flexible way with our workflows to meet the majority of those different AP requirements that come our way from customers like yourselves. So things to point out are like the multi-entity structures we have built in there. We've got very complex approval channels. So depending on if you have various departments or locations, we can really manage anything. And that's across each one of our modules. So you can have it lighter, heavier, depending on where you want approvals to take place. And then, we have unlimited user access, which you configure on your end to allow anyone to come in at different access levels. And we have a very easy to use user interface that allows you to bring people in and say you're hiring new people with very little training required, just because it's kind of a straight line way of managing your AP. And you'll see that in future demos if you come in for it. Just to go a bit deeper, I just wanted to touch on some added things here. So first of all, Quadient AP or Sage AP Automation integrates seamlessly with your your ERP. And that's to save your team from all the time-consuming and error-prone tasks while maintaining complete control over your entire AP process. So that's with regards to all of your AP invoices are now managed in the same place, where you can complete things like your three-way matching, as your purchase orders and receiving data or receipt data is all going to be available within our platform. So if you are using those workflows and have inventory, the three-way match becomes much easier by having it all in a very easily clickable way to confirm that that's complete. You can also create unique approval workflows for each module. Mentioned that already. And you will be able to quickly find any AP documents very easily within our solution. Cam, our client who's on today, might speak to that a little bit. But there's an audit trail there for wherever that invoice is in our system, whether it's complete or partway through. You'll be able to see that very easily by searching the system. So people often use our system over like something like Sage because it's just easier to find what they're looking for. And you can also safely pay your vendors if you choose to adopt that module. All our modules except for invoices are optional. So if you're using payments, it's a very easy way to complete the entire AP process in that module as well. Just quickly, I want to touch on 3 challenges that we're really solving for in the AP automation space. Eliminating risk, so automating your digital system is greatly going to reduce the risk while also eliminating things like duplicate invoices very easily by just flagging those for you. And we all know that paper documents are easy to tamper with, so forging check endorsements or fabricating approvals is actually quite simple, and detecting it is actually quite difficult. So really what we're trying to do is take your team away from all the manual mundane aspects of AP, so they're not like focused too much on that, and then free them up for more observation and make them more reviewers of the AP process rather than just scrambling to get everything completed. And then reducing the cost is really around just having that automation. Automation can really process an average of, I think the stat is 30 invoices per hour versus 5 per hour in a manual workflow. Well, the average cost of processing the invoice is actually going to be reduced down from $15 to $5 or less. And then increasing efficiency is kind of in the same thread here. In the paper-based workflow, 56% of your AP's time is spent on data entry. So by greatly reducing that, AP automation is going to, it's really like adding an assistant to your finance team whose sole purpose is taking away those tasks like data entry and improving your team's productivity. And then just at the bottom there, you see that teams can expect 9 times faster AP completion rates. So the time spent on data entry is reduced by an average of 83%, and then the time spent managing and tracking down approvals, which is very manual and tedious in a manual process. That can be reduced almost completely, or by like 95%, as the solution is now taking care of all of the tracking and reminders. So your team is just kind of checking in when something's really not happening. So Tamara, if you could put up that poll.
Yes.
I've got the responses here, but if they come up for everyone, we're just trying to get an idea of if you want to check in with us and see the solution for a personalized demo. And you can answer that directly to DSD as well, if you prefer not to put in here. It's actually coming to DSD, the answers for this poll, so it's something you can talk to them about after the webinar today, and they can contact us for the next steps.
Perfect. Yes, we're already getting some responses, so I'll give it maybe like 30 more seconds to see if anyone else wants to interact with the poll.
Yeah.
And no worries, this is gonna be just only to the DSD team.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of start chatting again when I feel like it's been enough time. It's not important for everyone to answer this if they're just wanting to check in with people later.
Perfect. We got 80%
Cool.
voted, so I'll end it right there.
Perfect. Great. Well, that was all my preamble. I find that chatting with me here is great, but the next portion is where I'm looking forward to a little bit more. And Camara here, she asked me to call her Cam, so I'm going to go with that name. She manages the accounts payable process, like all of the preparing the data entry aspects or the lack of there, maybe with our solution, and then the getting those approvals completed and processed into Sage. So she did that before and after using our product, and we're looking forward to chatting with her today. But before we jump into the conversation, I just want to quickly talk about the company she works for, which is Southside Medical Center. And they're one of the leading community healthcare providers in the state of Georgia. And they're providing, affordable, high quality healthcare to all of the different medically underserved of the metro Atlanta area. They've been doing this for over 50 years now, it sounds like. And they're doing this for people in need with, every level of insurance or the lack thereof, I guess you could say, which is very nice to hear that they're giving that level of coverage across anyone who needs it in that sector. But I'm actually going to stop sharing my slides here. Hey Cam, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. Yeah,
Good.
we got the long weekend. I think I mentioned that to you the other day. You guys have it. I'm up here in Canada for those that didn't know, but you guys have your long weekend next weekend, I believe. So
Yeah.
I got some extra time to get ready for another week of work. But to get started here, Cam, I did a bit of an intro on your organization. Not sure if you have anything to add, but from your perspective, Southside Medical, you've been working there for at least 4 years. Maybe you can let us know how long you've been working there and the kind of organization you work for.
Yes, absolutely. So, it will be 4 years in September that I've been with Southside. Um, and what you have said is pretty much what we do. We are a healthcare facility for the medically underserved community. And we cover all parts, so from your mind down to your feet,
Mhm.
literally. So We, have several locations in the Metro Atlanta area. We're 14 and growing. We have school-based clinics. So they're a great, great company to work for.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you mentioned from the mind, because that's almost the most important thing these days. I mean, we all have broken arms and things like that over the years, but my son has a broken arm right now. That's why I mentioned it. But he's got a cast on, getting all the signatures. Yeah, the mind. I mean, I always think of that as something that these days we need the most help with.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your role now in the accounts payable for Southside, and maybe just give us a little bit of perspective on the accounting team as well?
Yes, so I do all of the when it comes to the invoices, all of the coding for the invoices, getting them entered into the system, getting all the approvals, of course, making the payments, all of that stuff. I'm here to support our accounting team. They have the bigger things to worry about. So that's kind of what I do here, just making sure all of the bills are paid across all of our sites because we just have one finance team.
Yeah,
And this has definitely helped.
great. Yeah, we'll get into that, I'm sure. I believe you're using Sage 100 as well as most of the people on the call today. But can you inform us of uh, how long you've been using our solution at this point as well?
Yes, so yes, we do use Sage 100, and we have been using Quadient. Um, it will be 2.5 years coming up next month. So we started the first of 2024.
Great. And it's great that we're talking to someone who went through the before and after as well.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on Southside's back office approach before implementing our solution? So that's around invoices and expense management, I guess. Just briefly, like at a high level, what process were you going through to get everything done before having any sort of workflow platform in place?
So we would definitely have to trace around our approvers. They may be in different locations or just on the go. So just having to track down people to get their approvals for things. Um, that it used to be a nightmare.
Mhm.
And then as far as the expense side, which was kind of our main reason for starting using Quadient, we just could not get them to keep up with their receipts. So before that, it was just a lot of following up and a lot of we did this, but there was no proof of it actually being done.
Yeah, that's never fun. And I'm sure a bit more data entry on your behalf. Was
Oh, a
that?
whole lot of more data entry.
Yeah. Cool. So, not cool, but let's get into some of the other stuff. Do you remember how Southside got introduced to us here at Quadient? You mentioned expense was a big part of your desire there, but how did that happen?
Yes. So we reached out to DSD, letting them know what our needs were, and immediately they uh, brought you all up for something that would fit our needs.
Great. Yeah, and yeah, the rest is history, right?
Oh yes, great history.
How do you describe just working with the team through sales? Um, and I guess while you were discovering whether the solution was going to be right for you, just that process you went through with the Quadient rep and team.
So Quadient, it was very, very patient with us. Our CFO at the time, he had in his mind exactly what he wanted, and he felt like it should have been there. Um, so it
Yeah,
was a lot of back and forth, back and forth. We had to do a couple of meetings, even though it was repetitive, but the customer service was just great, and that was another factor that made us choose you all.
it's great to hear. We've actually got a lot of the same account executives. I've been here for like 6 years, but like, we got a few new heads on the team, but a lot of them are ones that have been here forever. So it's still the same people that people are chatting with today that you probably did. And then ultimately, why did Southside choose the Sage AP automation solution to move forward with?
Just the ease of it. The main thing was the app. We liked the fact that it was an app. And like I said before, our main goal was to have better track of expenses. And we felt being there's an app, there should be no excuse as to why we can't get your receipts.
Yeah,
So that was the main thing. And of course, like I said, the customer service and then just the ease of the platform as well.
yeah, that's good to hear. And it's great to know that even though expenses might have been the reason for coming in, that you learned about and adopted also the invoice module to, you know, manage everything in the AP program better.
Yes.
Yeah. Onboarding. I just wanted to get into some of that now. How long did it take for your team to get set up and up running with Sage AP automation? And if you could speak to just what was involved, that'd be great. Just like the complexity of it all.
Yeah, so I want to say for the whole implementation process, it was less than a week for sure. Um, because we had a lot of safeguards, of course. You all had to work with our IT director, and everything was done
Yeah.
smoothly. I was a part of all of those calls, and it was a great process. They were there every step of the way, every question we had, and then also showed us things that we could do ourselves if we ever had any issue.
Okay, great. That's great to hear. And how do you find working with the onboarding? Um, sorry. Yeah. Well, how did you find working with us through the onboarding? Um, uh, I guess the team that you've worked with, not just like through the onboarding, but since going live with us. I guess you have a CSM assigned to your account, and
Mm.
then you also have, you know, support that you work with throughout the just getting things like upgrades sorted potentially, or any other things you need.
Yes, so the support team is great as well. We had to upgrade our Sage 100, and when we did the upgrade, we realized that nothing was syncing over. We sent out that email, and within like 30 minutes to an hour, it was fixed. It was a simple fix, and we were really appreciative because sometimes you don't get that quick of a service, especially with big companies.
Yeah, it's good to hear. And the upgrade process on our end is actually, as long as we know about it, it's pretty quick. It's more of like a configuration change in our sync tool typically, or maybe moving it to a different virtual server, depending on what's happening on your end. But yeah, that's good to hear that we got there in the end with you guys.
Yes.
And then how has Sage API been, just in general, like how is it working alongside Sage 300 system? And do you feel like they're operating in sync, the two
Um,
systems?
yes, absolutely. It is definitely in sync. If I do something over in Sage 100, for example, adding a vendor, and I go over and sync it, it is there immediately. So I do love the ease of that. It's not like, sometimes when you do updates, you have to wait 24 hours or something like
Mhm.
that to get it synced over. As long as you do it immediately, it will show immediately. And so we haven't, like I said, had any issues with syncing at all.
Great. That's awesome. I love to hear those things. Can you speak to the ease of use? I think that was one of the reasons you moved forward with us. But after you actually did move forward, speak to that, how easy it is for you and maybe those that are involved in the approval process and other people that you bring on after they've been hired. Just how easy is it for them to get comfortable with the system?
All right, yeah. So for me, it was definitely pretty easy. I am pretty tech savvy, but
Yeah.
as you said, we've been in business for over 50 years. So we have some people that aren't as tech savvy, but it is still very easy for them. We have a lot of preset things that helps with the ease of that. And of course, they know they can always reach out to me, which hardly that happens now. But when we have new people come in, they also say the same thing, that it's easy, very searchable, those type of things.
Yeah, great. And for you, like, do you find that most things you can figure out on your own too? Like if it's like you're trying to set up a new approval channel or tweak an old one or add users, you can kind of manage that on your own without contacting support in most cases?
Yes, absolutely, I can. And then also, you guys have like a little, I don't want to call it a training section, but
Yeah,
you have articles that will help
yeah,
if you do have questions about certain things too, which is
yeah,
very self-help tools. There we go. That's what I
yeah.
was looking for.
Like type in
That is
approval channels or
helpful.
something, and they'll be like, how to set up approval channels, and then
Exactly.
go through it all. Yeah. If we move into the workflow now, how would you say that the solution, supports you in managing and processing all of those vendor invoices that you had to do fully manually before, with regards to like data entry and processing through our system?
So before it, let's just say I had 50 invoices that may have taken me 4 hours to enter in manually. Those same 50 invoices, it'll probably take an hour, hour and a half to two. It just depends on, how many GL codings you have. But
Yeah,
for the most part, it is definitely made it so much quicker. So I'm able to do other things besides just entering
yeah,
in all day.
yeah, for sure. With regards to the GL codings, do some of the codings come through for you because it's like the same as last time it was for the vendor, so you don't have to even do that part?
Yes, that is correct. So you guys have smart coding. So as long as it is the same vendor, it will show up the previous code that you used.
Great, that's awesome. How about the approvers that are submitting invoices? Can you share some of the feedback you've gotten from them over the years around like, oh my God, I love this, or like whatever they've been saying, maybe I hate this.
Well, no, they all like it. They like the fact that they're getting reminders, so you can set up to get email reminders for your approvers to approve their invoices. So they love that fact. They like that anywhere they're at, they'll just click that invoice, or I'm sorry, the link from the email, and then they can approve or reject depending on what it is.
Yeah,
But the ease of it, and being able to do it wherever and not having to sit in one singular location, they definitely appreciate that.
yeah, and on your end for the approvals, do you remember how much your week you were spending, like specifically, like right now with our solution, you're just submitting for approval and it's kind of following up with them until they've done it, and you might have to like, check in at some point. But like
Mhm.
before, when you were doing all of the sending and following up, how much of your week do you think you were spending doing all of that activity?
So out of the 5 days, probably two.
Yeah, so that you're spending quite a bit.
Yes, a lot of follow up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's helpful to like just map that out. Um, and then you are also using us for expenses on our workflow there, which is
Yes.
again a key point for you moving in this direction. How has that helped you in just getting those receipts, and also, I guess on the back end, just getting those expense reports posted into your AP process?
So with the expense module, it has been a wonderful, wonderful tool for us. As I said before, with our card holders, they would say, "Oh, we submitted, receipts, but we didn't get them." So it will always be that constant back and forth. But now with this, it's no excuse. You can't provide us any paper
Yeah.
receipt to our department. It has to be in the
Send them away,
system.
right? Get out
Yes.
there, pull out your phone and go to the corner and just snap those.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. So it definitely helps. And it also helps them as well, being able to track. We don't use it to its full potential. Um, as with our expenses, it's the company paying it as opposed to the person being reimbursed. So we don't use it in that wise, but as far as keeping up with everything and then reconciling, it is a great tool.
Great. And I wanted to, you briefly mentioned something on this too, but the digital filing archive within the system, how has this supported your team in like the sourcing of information they're looking for, invoices, and supporting your business in different ways? It might be good for AP, but do you guys use it often as a company?
Yes, so we definitely like the fact with the audit trail. So the main thing is for the audit, of course. We want to make sure that everything is in there and in place, and and the audit trail is the best. Like you literally can see every single thing that was done, and who it was by. So making sure that we pass to keep being able to serve our patients, it has helped a lot. I will say even our auditors like it more than us bringing them files and files of
Yeah,
paper, where we could just send them over a PDF that comes straight from the system.
yeah. Yeah, I used to be an auditor, and I remember going through the filing cabinets and flipping through the folders by alphabetical. And wait, where's this folder? It's not in here. It's like, oh, it must be with Judy. Or
Right.
anyway, brings me back. Um, and then by switching into uh, more of a reviewer, I'd call it, because some of that data entry is there already and the coding's there. So you're becoming that reviewer in those cases. Have you noticed that you've been able to, there's just less errors in the process that need to be corrected and more accurate data overall that's going into Sage 100?
Yes, absolutely. Typos, because when you have so many things, you're just trying to, plow through. So is definitely something that could happen. But with the smart coding and all of that you all have, it has eliminated a lot of those typos. So, and as a reviewer, that's great. So when
Yeah,
you're going back trying to find something and you're like, uh-oh, it's not coming up. And then you realize, oh, I must have typed in something wrong. This
yeah,
time with this, we don't have those issues.
yeah. We all have days where it's just like I've done like 30, like 50 invoices already. Like it's hard to have no errors when you're typing things manually, right?
Right.
Yeah. Do you feel as though, and this is one of my last questions here for today, but do you feel as though like you and maybe others just have more time to support the business in other ways? You mentioned that you also support, their accounting team outside of AP, that you weren't able to, be involved in before in the previously manual AP environment.
Yes, absolutely. Before we integrated with Sage APA, I would literally just be at this desk for hours, just coding, manually entering in everything, and then having to go back and scan it into a soft file, where
Mm,
now it's all done in the front in, so I don't
yeah,
have to backtrack. And that's one thing I don't like to do is double work.
yeah, yeah.
So with that, it definitely has saved me so much time, and now I'm able to learn other things in the department so I can be more of a help.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, it's important for people to note that scanning all happens like it's either sent from the vendor and it starts digitally at the beginning, so you're not passing documents around uh, and then putting them in later or like putting them through emails. So yeah, that's a big win to just keep on that digital thread right from the get-go.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do have one last question, Cam, and I'll say thanks in advance for getting through this with us. But uh, basically, if you had to tell, someone, a friend of yours, maybe another healthcare organization you guys partner with, about using Sage AP automation or Quadient AP, what's your favorite feature that comes off the top of your head that you'd love to just share with them in the elevator or something like that?
I probably would say my favorite feature would definitely be the smart coding.
Yeah.
It definitely will be the smart coding, being at times, like I said, we have multiple locations and multiple departments in those locations. So I could have up to 50 GL codes I have to enter in.
Yeah.
So with that just being right there and all I have to enter in is the amounts, that is my favorite feature for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. And usually when it shows up, you can like confirm without too much effort that that is correct. Like, but before you'd have to like use a lot more brain power to like figure it out and get to that point.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I love learning about all these things because I'm not an active user, but I do think I have time to get into the quick overview today if things go well here. But I just want to say again, thank you, Cam. Well, if you're available to stay on, we'll jump into some Q&A in a bit here. If anyone does have questions for a live user and customer of ours, please do stay on for that and start asking those questions now that Tamara and I can go through. And yeah, Cam, we'll talk to you then potentially.
Okay, yes, thank you.
You can jump
Thank you
off
so
the
much,
webcam if you want.
Cam.
Okay, no problem.
Great. So I will first just start sharing again. Oh, there you go. Great. It's on that slide. Oh wait, that's my. Okay, so one thing that I'd like to point out for those interested, and it's funny, this is in Atlanta, so maybe we'll have to get Cam out for this if she's around. But we are running a session, and you can just pull out your phone and scan this if you want more information. But we're running a session to extend the value of your ERP through smarter AP workflows. So we'd love for you to join, finance leaders from across the region and maybe people from out of state if they're coming in for this, where we're going to have some great discussion around improving your AP efficiency, reducing manual work, and yeah, we'll have some fun events throughout the day planned for you here as well. That's at the Sage Discovery Center in Atlanta. So an opportunity for you to come in and meet some of the Sage team as well. It is a Quadient run event, so it's mainly put on by us, but yeah, might as well book some meetings with your account managers or something while you're there. At limited capacity, so do jump on and get that going right away. But we're looking forward to seeing who ends up coming out from the DSD crowd. This recording is available too, so for you guys after the webinar, so you can pass that over to whoever might be more interested in this. So if I go now into the demonstration, I'm going to switch screens actually here. I'm not the best screen switcher, hey? So Tamara, you're seeing my screen on the Sage platform right now?
Yes, I can see it.
Sage APA. So you see there it is under the Sage APA brand, but for any of our integrations, which is pretty much all the ERPs in the main market, it'll just say Quadient AP there, but the interface is going to look the same. So this is the interface you're looking at. This is what you'll be using. Back end on the configuration side, it can be very different and customized to your unique needs, but you'll see that there are the 4 modules I was mentioning earlier around expenses. I can jump into them here just to show you the change in color, purchase orders, invoices, and then payments. Maybe I should have jumped into them. So with regards to invoices, this is our bread and butter and the main module that you'll be subscribing to. And I say main because it's kind of like the foundation of the product. So Cam and uses the expense module as well, but invoices is going to be there for all vendors, for all customers, just to get that process automated alongside it. You can also see things like our entity structure here. So you can have as many entities as your organization needs to bring in to do all of the AP across all of these different entities, and you can just toggle in and out of them. But the workspace here in progress is where you're going to see all of the invoices that have come through. So for this company we're looking at here, they've got all these invoices that are in progress. The two ways of getting to this point are depending on how you're receiving your invoices. So if you're receiving them by email, which is the majority these days for companies, those are going to flow directly through into our product. We're actually going to pull those out of your AP inbox and drop them into our solution for immediate processing of the data entry and coding side of things. And so when you come in, you're just going to be coming in to review and complete anything that needs completion and passing those through for approval, which is the next stage of the process. The news tab is just for the scanned invoices that come through mail. You can actually scan those in one big chunk at one time, and you can upload them, and you're able to split those into individual invoice files just by dragging and dropping them, and then they'll flow into in progress as well. So now you've got all your invoices ready to be processed through the system here. And I guess if we just go into like a filter here, we got preset filters for to help you just get the invoices done that you want at that time. I just pulled this one because I know it's got some purchase orders here. So if we could just jump into an invoice for Cavallo, you see the Cavallo invoice right in front of you here. That's straight from your email that got pulled in. And then if you want to view, you can see here there's a PO number that came through on the invoice, and it automatically is going to pull the purchase order that we have in our system for it, as we're able to link them by the purchase order number. This is like a recreated version of your purchase order based on the data from Sage. So as long as those PO data are available in your systems there, we can pull them in and allow you to do that two-way match here, and then also the three-way match because we pull the receiving data in as well, so that you can complete your matching efforts right here in the solution and process it through the system. And you'll see that like the coding is here as well for this invoice based on how these Cavallo invoices are coded for your company. You can also, if you're not using our smart coding like Cam was, you can also adopt from the purchase order directly. So if you've got that coding on the PO, you can go ahead and click, adopt those lines. But for the purpose of this, we'll just kind of assume everything looks good here, and we're going to submit this invoice for approval. So once it's submitted for approval, it just jumps into that approval channel. And this would be the view if someone was logging in from your approvers to see all the invoices that are waiting for them. And they're going to get reminders on these as soon as they're either sent for approval or at the end of the day, all the approvals they have remaining for them. So they can come in here, review and accept or reject, approve or reject here. If they reject it, it's going to kick it back to Cam or the AP department for them to, fix something. And if they do that, they actually have to enter something in this box as a reason for rejecting it to help them out. It's actually a required step. Otherwise, it's going to jump through to the export tab, whereby they'll have either these going into Sage on a schedule, or they can actually come in here at the end of every week or day and push them into Sage on their own by exporting it here. And they're going to do the export and pick the posting date accordingly. And there's some other functionality there that you might be taking advantage of. But I'm not going to go through everything today. What I will show is that we've got the ready to export, the archive tab here. So everything, once you're in export, is very easy to search for using the search functionality. So if you just want to like type some ABC or something, I'm sure we have some invoices that meet that search functionality. Basically here, if you just want to pick all these Cavallo invoices that met that, you're going to go ahead and select them, create a report. You can either view them here in their audit trail or create a report by PDF here. You can check which information you want to show up on that report and go ahead and generate. And like Cam was saying earlier, it's really easy now to like download and view that report, and it's got the hyperlinks available. So if you're, sending this to the vendor or an auditor or whatever it might be, they can, jump in, see the invoice itself, all of the coding and data that was entered, and any other PO or attached documents that came through that workflow as well. So just scanning through here, this is kind of everything that I've exported. But again, I'm not going to go into much more depth. We do have a full solution across the different modules, so approval channels can be set up across all of these. You've got unlimited user access because that's not how pricing works for us. So even if someone doesn't have access to Sage, they can easily come in here and view anything accounts payable related, depending on their user access to our solution that you give them. And it's a very straightforward functionality to get used to and understand here for Quadient accounts payable. You can make that decision for yourself, though. Come in for a demo. We'll personalize it for your company and answer the specific questions that you need answered. It's better than kind of viewing any of the demo videos you can find online. And yeah, that's my recommendation for you. But if we go back to now, I'm going to step out of the solution and back into the presentation. And I think I got to switch my screens again. Tamara, we're going to jump into Q&A soon.
Yes.
Let's see if I have one more slide here. I think I do. Just let me get through my slow.
No worries.
Here. So I'll switch to this screen. Yeah, my last slide here was just around Quadient again. I just wanted to quickly touch again on Quadient as a company and the solutions we have, because accounts receivable is another solution that we offer. So it might not be a fit for your organization if you don't have, the volume, but it's a really slick solution, and I'd welcome you to come in and chat with us about it. We've also got our Quadient Hub platform that you'd launch any of our solutions from, where you can actually get really great reporting across any solution. So if you're using both AP and AR, suddenly your workflow your working capital is like exposed, at least across AP and AR. And you can even add other manual items like payroll or other expenses that you're putting through, just to see a picture of your cash flow at any point in time. This is real time, right, with cloud-based solutions. So really important to note that we've got other things that you can take advantage of. And I believe with DSD, they mainly manage customers across 100, Sage 100, Intact, and Acumatica, and maybe a few other ERPs. But if you have the desire to move to any one of these other ERPs, remember that we can move with you. So if you start with us on 100, your data will stay intact in the solution as we connect to a different ERP, just like we'd connect with a different entity per se. And you'd start to get, invoices flowing from a new place, but still managing things in a very similar way as you were before with the existing ERP. Great. Hopefully I didn't move too quick for everyone, but it's recorded. You can view it again there and ask any questions you want to us here at Quadient. But more importantly, I would recommend sending those after the fact to DSD. But Tam, do we have any questions today?
Yes. So we did get 2 questions. So the first question was, how do you secure data from cybersecurity risk?
Data from cyber, I would recommend we've got a trust page that goes through all of our like SOC 2, SOC 1, SOC 2, our HIPAA compliance. We are fully HIPAA compliant for like healthcare organizations like Southside Medical, who have kind of stricter requirements there, PCI compliance. So there's definitely lots to read on that front, more than I can pull out of my brain cells right now. But yeah, we'd love to get into that conversation with you during the sales cycle.
Yes. And then one more question. If you could explain smart coding in more detail, it would be appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, with regards to smart coding, we've got it's not OCR. So OCR is and some of the machine learning aspects are how we get the data off the header information, the dates, totals, taxes. But obviously on the invoice, you're not going to have GL codes. So we can't automate that from the OCR perspective. But when you have consistency across your vendors, so like if they have certain lines that always come through from that vendor, when the user like Cam is going through and coding these same invoices, it starts to be just available the next time she has a vendor invoice from that company coming. And yeah, I mean, Cam, if you are here, do you have anything else to add to that around smart coding that just might help a user understand it more?
Yes, I am still here. So basically, all of the codes that you have in your system, so your Sage 100 um, or Intact or whatever it may be, they transfer over into Sage APA. And once it is connected to a vendor, every time you enter in that vendor, the code will travel with it. Hopefully that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's really as simple as that. And there's other functionality that we can get a little bit more in depth with in the sales cycle. But if you do have purchase orders, that's the secondary way to code. And then we got some line item capture functionality that we can get to more in depth with as well. So there's a lot of coding opportunity there for you. And we'd love to dive into more detail because it's going to be specific to your customer situation. And then other things that people often ask, support is included. So that's just part of the monthly subscription. That's how we price. It's either monthly, you can pay annually as well, and there's a slight discount to that. But overall, you're paying for, based on volume of invoices you process. And then from there, another thing that's asked is, how long the implementation takes. Cam got into that a bit with it being mostly done in a week. And then I usually give like 3 business weeks as an estimate, just because there's like some configuration and other touch points we have. And then like a training session for sometimes the approvers that's different than the core team that's managing the AP. So, I mean, it's not really an integration problem. That happens really quickly. It's more of a configuration and training that would really be a time taker. And it's really client dependent and how quickly you want to go forward with it. Sometimes people want to take it nice and slow.
Perfect. Yeah, so that covers all the questions that we received today.
Great. Well, I welcome you again to take a look at this. There's a QR code there for anyone who wants to get into our session in Atlanta. And Cam, you can scan it as well. I'm not sure if you have any interest in being part of that from a customer segment, but we might have ways of making it easier for you if you want to talk to me about that afterwards.
Yes, and we will also send an email invite as well.
Great. Great. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks everyone for coming today. Happy to connect on LinkedIn or answer any questions. Dylan Hume here, and I support DSD and their customers with whatever they do need.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dylan. Again, please feel free to reply to any of the emails or reach out to marketing at DSD, dsdinc.com, and we're super happy to help. And a huge thank you to Dylan and Cam for joining us today. And with that, thank you again, everyone, and enjoy your day.